Day, and that means it's another Let's Talk with the Doc. I'm excited to be here as always, and I'm happy to have with me tonight a return after a couple of years, maybe. Mr. Cleveland Orville McLeish. Some of you maybe know him, and some don't know him, and some will get to know him, and some might want to know him. So we will see. When I come back, I'm going to be talking to Mr. McLeish, Brother McLeish. So stay right there, my friends. It is another Let's Talk with the Doc. ORB Ministry presents Let's Talk with the Doc. Grace Without Borders podcast. A thought for you. Ask Pastor. And a whole lot more. You never know what's next or who will join the conversation. All right, so here we are, and I have Mr. Brother Cleveland Orville McLeish. Welcome to another Let's Talk with the Doc. Good to have you.
Thank you, Doc. Good to be here.
All right, my pleasure to have you, man. He's joining me from Jamaica. Of course, everybody know that the clouds and the effect and the impact and the residual effect of Melissa is still having its toll on Jamaica. But thank God that little by little, people are getting their head above the waters and getting some blocks and some steel and wood in the ground and rebuilding themselves. All right. So first of all, let's maybe just like I say, how has it been for you during and after the storm?
Um, the storm, it was an experience. Um, you know that we have never experienced a Category 5 before. So there was an anticipation just before, like, what is this going to be like? During the storm, it was it was an experience. That's all I can say. But the aftermath of the storm is it's really bad. Um, while I am not on that side of the world, that experience the full blunt of it,
Blood. Mhm.
I think everybody feels it. Everybody feels it. We went through the discomfort of not having electricity and water for maybe a week or so. But outside of that, on this side, we are okay. But we still we have been mobilized to really offer assistance, etc., to that side of the island. So everybody feels it. We all feel
Yeah.
it.
It's like the Bible says, "When one speak, the whole body move." And it says, if the little heart, if the pinky get hurt, then the whole body feels it. So if it's even from a moving around, produce, getting things from the farm, the prices of things, everybody get impacted. Transportation, getting here, but everybody get impacted one way or the other. So we can only hope for the for speedy recovery. I know for some people it's going to be years and years and years, depending
Yeah.
on how bad it's been for them and how much they can accumulate resource to rebuild themselves. You know, sadly for those who have lost their lives and their source of living as well. So we just trust God in these time of disaster. Distress we cry and pray and hope, and hopefully that one will lift the other as much as he can, so everybody will keep going. All right, so much for Melissa God has been good. Could have been a whole lot worse. Could have taken the island from east to west. Could have ripped it right
Mm-hmm.
through. But for some reason, we're gonna say maybe selfishly, God still spare a great portion of the island. So we're gonna express gratitude on that.
Yes.
All right. So, Mr. Cleveland, you were on my program a long time ago. I remember when it was when we talk about your story. And for those who don't know Cleveland, and as I said before, might need to know Cleveland. Even they may not want to know him, I realize I need to get to know him because of what the man does and how he can affect me and impact my life and ministry. Um, give us a little insight into who is Cleveland, Orville. And by the way, if anybody noticed that the man's parents took my name in the middle right there, because
Right
you
in
know,
the middle.
right in the middle. Because I'm a senior guy, so I'm gonna assume I have the name before. So
Uh,
I'm gonna assume I have the name before. So that means the name come after. But put fun aside. Give us a little bit of insight into Cleveland, going back into his early days, growing up. What was it like growing up, and what influenced Cleveland in his early boy days, just reflecting on where you were born and what was happening then. How were you influenced by your environment, or what? Give us a bit of synopsis insight into that.
that's a whole story within itself.
Well, I know.
Doc. Yeah, and for the record, I did not like Orville. I did not like my middle name at all. But I'm loving it now as an author. But my life is an evolution. That's the best word I can find for it. I was born and raised in Old Harbour St. Catherine. Um, thank God I had both parents, but I didn't have the parents who would sit and have conversations with me
Hmm.
or encourage. So I got a lot of negative talk when the bad reports came home. My father would say, and I got a lot of beating all the way to age 16. Um, but my father would say I have no worth, that
You have no worth.
I would no worth, would not amount to anything. Um, the only thing I'm gonna do in life is burn coal. I still don't know how to burn coal.
What what would you say was his motive behind that? Was what?
I think it was reverse psychology,
Hmm.
but I also think he didn't know better. I think we had the love of our parents. They loved us the best way they knew how. Um, and maybe how he grew up because he ran away from his home as a teenager and he never looked back. So I don't know any of I don't know most of his family. I
Wow.
know he's from St. Elizabeth, but I don't know his family. His mother died when I was a teenager. And the first time I would meet her is if I went to the funeral and I chose not to go to the
Oh
funeral.
wow. Wow. Wow.
Right. So
So you
I
say,
didn't
go ahead.
so I didn't
No.
meet my grandparents on his side.
Wow. Um, I'm curious because you say it's reverse psychology, that you think he was using reverse psychology on you. Do you think that reverse psychology was intended to make you think above that, or what do you think that was how he classify or conclude? In other words, you think it was a conclusion for him, or it was a motivation for used as a motivation for you?
I think it was his way to try to motivate me to do better.
Okay, okay,
It
okay.
didn't work. Um, Actually, so when I left, I went to St. Jago High School, and when I left high school, I had nothing. I had no subjects. I had no ambition. Um, I knew that for my parents, fifth form was it. After fifth form, you're pretty much on your own. They could not afford college, so I left high school, and for a year or two, I was just home, sleeping till 10 in the morning. I have nothing to do. Those times we didn't have any cell phones, no social media. Um, I guess all we had was a TV, and I'm not gonna say I'm a TV junkie. So I pretty much had time to do nothing.
So
Um,
so so tell me, you gone to high school and you say you
yes, I
came up
did
with nothing. So what did you do with your
nothing.
time? What was your approach in school? Were you just like an idle boy, don't pay attention? You know, were you know guys who go to
I,
play games or what? You know, what was it?
uh, my class was, I think I was in the grade, the lowest grade in San Diego. So which means I barely passed my CXC. Was CXC at the time. The grade below me was a grade that they created for the track and field people. So that grade really did not exist. Um, uh, I my class was divided into two groups. You had the Heaven Squad and the Hell Squad. The Hell Squad were those guys who cursed bad word and they were bad, and some of them even got expelled. They didn't make it to the fifth form. So and there was some good in me because I grew up in the church. So I was a part of the Heaven Squad, of course,
Okay,
because I didn't
thank,
curse bad word.
thank God.
Yes, I was not bad. I was not bad. I was not into sex and all those things. So I was good. It's just that academically I was lazy. I just
Okay.
didn't try because I actually believe, I think subconsciously I believed what my father said, that I would not be anything. So I had no form of self worth, no form of self value.
Wow.
My life meant nothing. My life was a vapor in the wind that would soon vanish.
Wow.
um,
Wow.
thank God I we didn't have a lot of mental issues like we have now, which is something, a discussion for another time.
Hmm.
So I was not mental, I was not suicidal, none of those things. I just didn't think I had any value. That was
What
me
what
leaving high school.
what was your mother's approach to your achievement or lack thereof? How did she communicate with you? You know, your father saying one thing on one hand. What was your mother's input?
She was quiet in the background. I don't remember her having an input really. I
Wow.
don't remember taking me aside and said, "Don't listen to what your father is saying." I didn't. We didn't get none of that.
Do you have older
Um,
siblings than you are?
I was just about to say that my mother has 9 children.
Wow.
Three sets of 2 boys and 1 girl. So I have 6 older siblings and 2 younger siblings. And this
Okay.
last set was for that I am in was for her and my father together.
Okay. So those kids came in with her into your father's life where you come as part of
Not
that.
all of them.
I mean
Two of
the
them,
older. Mhm.
yeah, just 2 of them were actually living with us, but the rest were adults and they were off living their lives. So
And what
um,
was their impact or influence on you, even just by thinking?
I I I don't know. I
Mhm.
remember spending a lot of time at one of my older brother's home, because he has 3 children and his first son is almost the same age as me.
Wow. Wow.
So
So,
my view is like maybe a couple of years younger than me. So I spent a lot of time at his house. He's a carpenter. He's still a carpenter. Um, but it wasn't time spent where you sit and you're getting that prep talk and pep talk and all of that. It was just okay. For some reason, I'm here and not at home. So do you have anything for me to do to occupy time? We played a lot. We played a lot. We Jamaica we call it ramping. we played we played a lot.
Yeah,
I remember
yeah,
my
we
father yeah, when he get annoyed with us, he would say, "Stop the ramping and go take up a book or something like that." So I grew up in that generation with parents who said, "Go take up your book."
yeah. Take up your book. That's
We
it.
didn't have any book. Yeah, we pretended to take up our book.
Yeah.
We love to play. We were very innovative, Doc.
Oh
We
yeah.
made robots from mud. We built houses out of sticks and bushes, and we were very
Listen,
innovative.
listen. I am a Jamaican. I spent my first 39 years in Jamaica. Grew up in the country. Everything we played with, we made it.
Yes,
Everything we
that's
played
it.
with, we made it. Because so
Trucks,
creativity
yes,
and innovation, we gotta make everything because nobody was gonna buy you anything. They couldn't afford to buy you toys. So we
exactly.
wood and nails and steel and all that stuff. We create our own
We
lives.
built it.
And yeah, and we enjoyed it too. We enjoyed it too. We enjoyed it too.
No, it was fun. It was
It was
fun
fun.
days.
It was fun indeed. Marbles and gigs and skates and all this stuff, man. My friend, I'm talking to Cleveland. I'm
Fans
talking
did it. We had fun.
Right, exactly. I'm talking to Cleveland McLeish tonight, and we're gonna get because the man, we're gonna find out how he gets to where he is because now there had to be a dramatic shift somewhere. So we're gonna make a discovery. When did the shift happen? Because the man is an author, renowned. If I'm gonna add renowned to it because of the volume of his authorship, which really a little bit more as we go along. And the man is a publisher. So I'm throwing this out there pretty quickly that if you ever intend to produce a book, publish a book, you might want to talk to Cleveland Orville McLeish because he's pretty good at it. We'll talk more about and we go on. All right. So tell me about your life. When did the shift happen? Okay. When did Cleveland say this can't be it for me?
I I I think that decision was made for me. Um, if I should say anything about my life or I'm going to use the word evolution. I don't know if we like that word or not. Um,
Evolution is fine. Evolution is fine.
okay. I was evolving without knowing that I was evolving. I was changing without knowing that I was changing. The thing is, I've had some weird, significant spiritual experiences in my life. So I think the presence of God was always there. And as I said, I grew up in church. I'm still going to the same church where I grew up. I've been attending that church since I was about 5 or 6 years old. Before my
Wow.
mother and father got married, we were dressed on a Sunday morning and sent to church. She became a part of the church once she got married, and she got married maybe when I was about 8 or 7, 8. So I grew up in the church, and I'm still a part of that church. Um, so church is my background. So just for some reason, I believe that my steps were ordered according to the word of God, or according to where God wanted to take me. Now, if I should be transparent and honest, I think my change came late in life.
Mhm.
Because if I knew then what I know now, I would have had a different approach to high school and education and academics. And I probably would have gone into some scientific field or something that would help humanity. But um, as I went
Not
through
to cut you,
life,
not to cut you, but to hold that point. Hindsight is always 2020. Woulda, shoulda, coulda, maybe woulda. But then again, at the same time, if you conclude that the hand of God or the plan and purpose of God was on your life then chances are it's a good thing. Chances are it God's divine plan that you didn't do well in high school because you would have maybe
yeah,
gone where we wouldn't want you to go.
That's true.
right? So so
But sometimes you look back and yes,
from the
you
human
try to
perspective,
rewrite
that's how
your
you
own
gotta conclude
script.
it.
But
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yeah, we like to be the narrator of our own lives sometimes.
yeah.
Um, but there's a book that is written about us. The Bible says in the volume of the book it is written.
Mm,
So yes, and then so the pieces started to fall into place. Um, I was a part of impromptu drama church, so naturally I had a desire to write
mm.
plays, and this is while working. I started working when I was 19. Started working as a surveying draftsman. I can't say I enjoyed the whole 9 to 5 environment. I don't think there was a point I enjoyed it. For 8 years, I actually worked for um, a drunk. He has passed on now, but he was into into strong liquor. So there were times, and he lived in Old Harbor, worked in Kingston. I worked for him for 8 years. There were times that I was being driven home by somebody who was completely inebriated,
Wow,
drunk.
wow.
So the hand that must have been on my life. And by extension, you would have benefited from that level of protection. Because I never
Mm.
met in an accident, never had an incident. And I'm looking back now and I'm saying, God, it must have been you. Absolutely drunk. I don't know how that man drove when he was drunk. And that came to an end one day when he owed us money. So our salaries were not paid on time. It was just a horrible experience. But one day he threatened to kill all of us, and I said that was the last straw. I went home,
Wow.
never and didn't look back. And I prayed to God, and I said, Lord, provide a job for me that will pay $100,000. Now this was when $100,000 was a lot of money. I'm trying to remember the year. Um, I don't remember if it's 2002 or before, but it was
$100,000 a
oh,
year.
long time,
That was a
hundreds of
year, son.
months.
A
I said,
month.
Lord, provide me with a job for that 100,000 that pays me 100. This would have been my first real job because 8 years, I don't think there was a fortnight that I actually got what I was working for. I don't think there was a month that I actually got what I was working for. So it was just a horrible experience. 3 weeks I was home for, Doc, and I saw ad in the paper for another land survey,
So you were
and
so
I
you were
applied,
you
and
were
he
you were a
called me for an
surveyor.
interview.
You were a surveyor.
I was a surveying
Oh, okay.
draftsman. So what when they go to the field and survey, I was the one who drew the plan.
Oh, so you a savvy techie guy.
All right, I left out this part. When I was going to St. Jacob to high school, my mother didn't want me to be idle during the summer. She sent me to do compute a computer course for 2 summers, and I'm gonna tell you how far technology has come. When I went to do those courses, it was the computer internet was not yet a thing, not even dial-up. The computer was Windows was just coming in. It was this gateway black and white code thing. I had to type in WIN to get
I
into Windows.
remember that W. I remember that.
Yes, that's my mother sent me to do. I don't know what possessed her, because we didn't own a computer, we didn't own a laptop, we didn't own anything. I don't even think laptop existed.
That's what I was
So
just about to say.
why
I don't
did
think there was
what
laptop
what
available then.
possessed my mother to send me to do a computer
Divine
course?
influence, man. Divine influence, man.
That's it. So for 2 summers, I did computer course. So for some reason, the Lord, cause though I work um days around computer, but anyway, so divine intervention. The Lord ordering my steps according to His word. I don't remember the point that I was coming from back before I sidetracked to that, but I had to put that in.
Well, we're talking
Um,
about the
Serving
transition.
draftsman, right,
So yeah.
right. So he called me into his office, um, and he sat me down. And the first thing he said to me was, "This job has the potential to pay you $100,000 per month." So I
Okay. All
said,
right.
"God, this
Okay.
must be you." Now, mind you, it was maybe about 5 or 7 years later before I ever actually made $100,000 in 1 month on that job. But it was a steady job with a very um, matured older gentleman. He passed now. But that's the best experience that well, best and worst because he was kind of sharp with his tongue, but it was consistent and it was okay. It was because I went on staff and all. It was a beautiful experience.
Good for you.
Overall, yes. So
Good for
I
you.
worked with him, and then while I was with, I think I wrote my first play while I was working for my first boss, and I passed it on to somebody I'm close to at church for feedback, and I didn't get any feedback, no encouragement, nothing. So I didn't know what to think or how to feel about that. Um, but I kept writing plays. I don't know where I got this from, artist or whatever it was, but I was writing plays. I just something I felt to do, and I was just and I was just penning the story, and that led me to and I got a website and I put the plays on it, a free website, and I put the plays on it. So now the plays are on a website. I don't know what I'm doing, Doc, but there's a voice talking to me and I'm obeying. I'm getting
So you
instructions and
write
I'm
the play. You write it.
obeying.
You put in the draft that is in text, right? You put in the draft of the play in text, not with a video or
Yes,
just in text. Okay.
right.
Script.
It's a
Okay.
script, so you can get the script, take it to a
Mhm.
drama team and assign roles and produce the play. So I'm doing this and I know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm doing it because I'm working 9 to 5. I'm using my extra time to do this. And I put about 4 plays out there. One of them was called The Mark. I wrote The Mark, which was related to the mark of the beast, which had a
Mm.
policeman in it. And it was a story. And somebody who wrote plays in Cleveland, Ohio, found my website, read my play, liked it, and reached out to me, and he became my mentor as a playwright. He gave me a space on his website, so now I'm selling plays online. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Wow. Oh,
To this
wow.
day, to this day, you know, if I tell people that that was what I was doing for a while, they're saying I don't, because Jamaicans want to get these things for free. But anyway, so while I was in the 9 to 5, I was writing plays, and that became an entire business. So I named it. It was called The Heart of a Christian Playwright. So it became a business. I'm
Mm.
selling plays online while I'm working in the 9 to 5. Um, what happened with my role as a surveying draws that now in college, in the universities, the surveyors how to draw their own plan. So my role, my career was getting extinct without me even realizing it. So my
Mm.
last day as a surveying draftsman, I went to work and there was somebody sitting at my desk.
So how was it getting extinct?
But
What was it? Were you failing? Were you not
because they
improving?
know
What?
learning to draw their own plan, the surveyors now knew how to draw their own plan, so they didn't need a draftsman.
Okay, 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 okay,
Right.
okay.
So it was becoming extinct.
So they're getting what
Um,
they're getting the
so
middleman
I
out,
was,
getting the middleman out.
yeah, they took the middleman out, should have been me. So
Hmm.
while I was doing plays, I didn't know that God was actually setting me up to have something when I lost that. Because no, I would not be able to get a job as a surveying draftsman anywhere in Jamaica. Because it was not a thing. It was a big thing back then, but now it's not a thing. Um, but what I noticed, Doc, was that the money that I was making from selling plays online was the money that I was using to go to work. So I had a thought, if I stay home, because I'm living with my parents,
Hmm.
and sell my car and keep writing and selling plays online, I would be making more money than actually leaving my yard to go to work because I did the
That's
math.
that's 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 interesting because I wouldn't have thought that playwriting would be something lucrative, in the sense that somebody got, I would have never imagined that.
It exploded. I bought
Wow.
a car cash from that business.
Are you kidding me?
So yeah, I registered the business. I made it official, registered the business. Um, I went to get a bank account. The person in charge of doing the account asked to be excused and went away for a good 10 minutes and came back. She said when she heard the name of the business, she thought I was a scammer. She has never heard a
Wow.
business with that name. So I had a
Wow.
business account, The Heart of a Christian Playwright. I had a registered company, The Heart of a Christian Playwright. So I was writing plays. I think I've over 80 plays, full length plays that I end up writing to date. So I'm actually catching up now. That I wrote and was available online, and people are buying plays. People are buying plays. People in Germany, people in Australia, people in United States, UK, Canada. I was selling plays in everywhere except Jamaica.
Maybe they can't afford it. Jamaica company don't want little creativity. They can't afford to buy it, please. What?
It
What?
was. It
So what,
exploded,
what
and
was what was your what in your in retrospect? What was the trigger point of playwright? Was it just like trying a thing and it looked like it worked, or there was a
it was
motivation,
just I
inspiration?
had
What was it?
just a desire, just a small still voice saying, "Hmm, I get a story. This is a story. Why not write it?" And I just went to write it.
But you have to be
I
smart. Number one, you got to be smart. You have to have experience. You have to have a good awareness of the real world. I mean, there are a number of factors, come into play for you to write something realistic and applicable, and that people can say, this is like a real life story. So a number of things has to come into writing that people can relate to it.
well, when I noticed that I have the gift or the desire, I try to find some courses to do. Because of
Okay.
course you need to better your
You gotta
craft.
be okay. All right.
There is absolutely no creative writing courses in Jamaica. I found some short courses at UWI that did poetry short story, some short courses at Edna Manley that did playwriting. So I did those short courses, very short courses. So I did those. When I wrote my play for my course, my instructor at Edna Manley said you need to enter this into the JCDC Literary Arts Competition. So I entered it and I got a bronze medal. That was the first time I was awarded as as a writer. And I have so many medals that I have, so many medals that I got from JCDC, medals upon medals. Right now, I'm on my wall.
Wow.
Best adult playwright 2023, best adult screenwriter 2023. I entered a screenplay in JCDC. JCDC don't give gold for fun or joke. And when I went to the award ceremony, I got a gold medal for that screenplay. That's
Wow.
where God brought me to this guy who left high school with a 3, which was a failing grade back then, in English language and no other subjects. No other subjects. But I have always loved to read. I love to read. And apparently I love to write.
well,
Apparently
well, now,
I
now,
love to write.
now I know why you love to write as much as you do write, because we're gonna get to that point, because you're like, if I say avid writer, maybe that's an understatement. I don't know. We'll find out more. But I'm talking to Cleveland Orville McLeish, my friends. He is an author. We're gonna hear a little bit more about that. He is a publisher, and if you intend to publish, and although he's in Jamaica, it's like prayer doesn't, distance doesn't alter prayer, right? So in this age of technology, no matter where you are in writing, he can produce and publish your book if you want to write. And if you never think of writing, maybe you should start think of writing. We'll get more, a little bit more in there as we go along. All right, so I didn't know you were still doing the playwright stuff even up to 2023. That is 2 years ago. You're still winning all these big medals in playwright.
Yeah, I'm still doing it. Even today, I'm actually in the process of revamping my website for those plays. I'm not writing as much plays as before, but someone might come to me and say, I need a play, and then I'll write it. Um, so I still do it. I still do it,
So
but
somebody
not
might come
as
to you and say,
much
I
as I
want, I
was
want,
doing it then.
somebody comes to you and say, I want to play with this in it,
Right.
or based on this story, or what and you just kind of come up with the
Mhm.
creativity and do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I
Wow.
just wrote one for Bishop Conrad Atkinson. I mentioned his name because he said he saw the flyer and he remembers you. And the best going about Jamaica singing. That's what he remembers. He said
That's
he knows you.
everybody say the
So
Beckford's in
yeah,
Jamaica sing. I mean,
the
everybody said,
Beckford
do you
singing.
know the
So
Beckfords? Oh, they sing, they sing, they sing. That's what everybody's saying. But
yeah, but
wow,
I would never give up that gift.
God bless
Because
you, man.
that is what led me to where I am. Um,
Wow.
I actually became. Oh, that's your phone.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, but I'm good.
So
We get it.
I had some hurdles to overcome. Because this is not common. My life has not been common. When I was writing plays, how do I stay in Jamaica and get paid from people who are outside of Jamaica? Because the banks here don't have any option to offer to us to figure out ways and means of getting paid. And this is of course a legitimate business because now you have to go through the filter of is this guy scamming people out of their money, you know. But it was a legitimate business, so PayPal came in very handy. So I have
Yeah,
been a global author now for a while, and a lot of people see me, but they don't know who I am. They don't
they
they
don't know
don't to
Cleveland.
this
They don't
day
know Cleveland at
to
all.
this day, my parents don't know what I do for money, and I can't explain it. My mother is 86. I can't sit and try to, because for having a job means you're leaving the house 8 in the morning, 7 in the morning, and you're coming back at
Yeah,
6 in the evening.
8 to 5 and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
work from home means you're unemployed.
What? Your father still alive?
No, he passed in
Oh, your mom. Okay,
2012.
your mom. Okay, okay. So your mom is still alive. All right. All right. So you got on to all this, and you're still doing that now. Back into book writing, because um, aside from playwright, you are a avid author. I remember when we had our first conversation a couple of years ago. Um, you told me something about your philosophy in writing, and I think that's the word I want to use. Your philosophy in writing. Um, by then, I don't know how many books you have written. I think I saw something the other day that you were saying like you got what 100 books. How many books have you written
No,
by now?
I, I stopped counting at 50. Five-star general, Knox Murray. I stopped counting at 50. I
He's a
am
five
going to
star
get,
general.
yes, we refer to him as a five-star general. I
Yeah,
am
tell him
going
five
to
star
get,
general. Tell him 5 star general don't hide from people, right? 'Cause he's hiding from me. So
which he hides from, he's busy. He's busy. Um, I know I've written different things. Some people would say I'm not, consistent, or I'm not branded. I've done journals, I've done novels, I've done devotionals, I've done um, a lot of inspirational books. So I have touched pretty much everything. So I have a large collection of books. Um, and I also write under a few pen names. So
oh really? How the
if,
how
if,
tell,
if I think
tell me
I
what
if I think it's too controversial, I put it under a pen name.
oh
That's
you
my
so you still
secret.
got you,
I'm not letting
you
out
still
my secret.
see okay all right I don't know there's some writings in the Bible that that they didn't know exactly who the author is, but they say based on the language, the
It
tone, the
sounds like,
expression, the verbiage,
yes.
they said this sounds like Paul's language, etc., etc. So they can say, we can tie this to the apostle because that's the tone and the language he used. So for me to figure something that Cleveland writes that on that pen name, I'm gonna say, well, okay, this sound like what something Cleveland would say. Is that how I'm gonna
If
discover
you
it?
know me, you can figure it out.
All right,
That's the
all right,
truth.
all right, all right.
That's the truth.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yes. But
I remember you told me.
um
I remember you told me the first time that writing, maybe it's philosophical or ideological, that you write a lot of books, not with the intent of what the return really might be, but the longevity and the long-term effect. Even when you're gone, you're leaving something behind. Give me a little bit of insight into that philosophical view.
I'm a generational I'm a rich multi-generational legacy builder. That's how I see books. Once you publish a book, the book stays published. Even if you try to take it down, Amazon does not remove your book. So I realize that every book that you put out there you know how as children we go somewhere, we mark right in the tree that I was here,
Hmm.
and that mark stays there unless you burn it. That's how I see books. So I see books as building legacy. You put your thoughts, you print your thoughts in a way that it is never removed from this world. It is always available, even when you are no longer here. So that's how I view books, and the power of books are the power of even plays and movies. They are timeless, multi-generational. I remember when I was writing a lot of books and just publishing and just so many books for the year, and they were not selling. And I said, Lord, I don't understand. And if I go to the lawyer, I say, God, this is the last one I'm going to write, I get 10 more titles. I said, Lord, why do you have me writing all these books and they're not selling? And there comes that gentle whisper again in my spirit. I never told you that you are writing for this generation.
Mm.
And I held that. I held that. So I write. When I write now, I'm not thinking about this generation. Thinking about the generations that are coming,
So
and
so then
how. Yeah.
so then my thinking is that if you become one of these profound notable authors, I'm thinking like now, like so many people quote Spurgeon, for example. So many people quote Charles Spurgeon because the man had so much to say in so many ways, and profoundly as well. So maybe, as you say, I'm writing for many generations. Maybe down the road, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, if the Lord tarries, that they're going to look back and say, Cleveland, Orville, McLeish said, right, in this
Oh
book, he
yes.
said that, 40 years ago, he said this, and stuff like that. So maybe that's the mentality. And if, somebody has to do it, right? Somebody has to do it because I have, when it comes to dispensational truth or dispensational theology, my favorite writer, draftsman, architect is Clarence Larkin. Clarence Larkin, and almost everybody use Larkin's drafts and timelines. No matter you see them popping up now and like they're doing their own thing, maybe 99% of them glean from Larkin's drawing and dispensational truth. So and who knows him, the man? The man is gone so long time ago. So yeah, I could
Mhm.
understand that. You maybe never know the story behind your story until when you become perfect in your mind, then you understand, God, this is what you were causing me to do to impact generations after me.
That's it.
All right, all right,
That
all
is it.
right. So the man
And
moved.
I I said something to my wife the other day. I said I understand poverty. Poverty. Those who walk in poverty live in the present and the past. But the people who walk in wealth live in the future.
It's coming, always coming. There's a bright
Right?
light somewhere, right?
So I'm focused because I've been given a vision of the church of the future. So I tend to keep my eyes on that church. So there are certain things now that if I mention the word mystic, you know, people's people flare up because they just don't like that word. But 20 years from now, that word is going to be a common word in
Mm-hmm.
Christendom.
Okay, we
And
can
I
buy
know
that.
why I say that. Yeah. So I keep focus on the future. So
All right,
if like, and I don't know if we're gonna get to discuss that, but
all right.
bless the
Keep writing
Lord.
for keep writing for tomorrow, my friends. I'm talking to Cleveland Orville McLeish. A man has that we bear part of the name together. All right, and by the way, so give us a bit about the publishing now. Not just an author. What motivated you to want to become a publisher? Was that so you can put your own books out easily, or was another vision of helping others to be able to publish?
Yeah, I didn't set out to be a publisher. I set out to be a global art. I didn't set out to be a playwright, screenwriter. I didn't set out to be a serving draftsman. The pieces just came. When I met my wife, I was a youth director. This was like 2010. I was a youth director at my church, and I did a series called Hard Talk, where I discussed with the youth like music, masturbation, etc. So Hard Talk. And I remember it said to me, and I'm knowing this to be the Lord now. Then I I didn't know. Um, Said to me that I should take my notes and publish a book. And I was like, publish a book? What do you mean publish a book? Because what I know from publishing a book, that's you have to send a manuscript to a publisher. They have to accept it. They only accept maybe 5% of the submissions that they get. It's difficult to get a book published. But what I did not know was that God has actually opened up what we now know as self-publishing. I did not know that that existed.
Mhm.
So I went to research, how do you publish a book? And I was introduced back then. KDP was Create Space. Um, so I was introduced to Create Space, and I learned. I went and I learned how to publish a book, and I published my first book in 2012, 2013, thereabout, called Hard Talk, and it was horrible. I double spaced it. I made a lot of mistakes that book. It was amateurish, but that's how I got introduced to publishing. And then my wife's best friend wrote poetry, so she said, "Oh, I would love to publish my book. Can you help me?" So I helped her publish her first poetry book, then her second poetry book. I'm saying, okay, I didn't even know what was happening. One of my first clients was a believer, a brother who went to Bishop T.D. Jakes' church, the Potter's House. I don't know how or what I did for him to find me online, and he was my first official paid customer to publish his book. And I did about two or three of his book. And I
Wow.
realized that my whole the heart of a Christian playwright was now evolving into a book publisher.
Wow.
So I said no, but I can't call, because the first books I published under that brand, the Heart of a Christian Playwright. I said I can't publish books under this because this is playwriting. So I need a name for the company. So Heart of a Christian Playwright is HCP. So I call the company HCP Book Publishing
Wow. So that's
and
a
register this.
disguise. So the HCPs
It,
are disguised.
it is a disguise.
Wow.
Really coming from the heart of a Christian playwright.
Wow. Wow. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And by the way, my friends, I have at least one book published under that under that publishing HCP. Right? So, all right. Um I'm gonna by the way, I don't remember how I got linked up with you. Somebody told me about you. I don't remember how I got linked up with you. Um I don't know if it's who was it? Is that Rajuxina? You
That's just how it
I don't
works.
remember how it happened, or it was you
It's
tell me about
probably Bishop.
Rajuxina.
Yeah.
Maybe you told me about him. I don't know where the conversation. I don't know how it started. But he ended up publishing two books for me. And I'm gonna take a break and play those two books. Show you those two books that he published. If you are an author, or you are a potential author, or you want to write and you don't know how to write, you can talk to me. You can talk to Cleveland, because I'm kind of getting my legs into a little bit of understanding, because I did the third one myself, right? He did the first two, and I did the third one myself, and maybe not as good as the one he did, but I got it done. But here is one of my book that he published, the first one. So that was the first one, the seven churches of Asia Minor, and I'm gonna do the second one, and I come back and then continue the conversation. Number two, which one I think everybody should read this one. All right, so that was the "Don't Judge Me by My Scars or Hold Me Hostage to My Past." I think everybody should read that one. All right, so let's come back now. You got into publishing that has been established. You are this guy from the Potter's House. Can you recall how many people that you have published or helped to publish? Because I know you've done a lot of things more than publishing. You're doing like editing and all that stuff now.
Yeah, there was a point where I was doing freelancing. So um, I looked up all the legitimate online work sites and I found maybe two or three that were legitimate and I provided services. So I was doing a lot of ghostwriting. I was doing a lot of editing. I became an editor before I was qualified to be an editor.
So you're a risk taker.
I don't know if it's a risk taking, I'm saying, but as I said, my steps have been ordered according, and I would, I can't blow my own horn, but I'm actually a very good editor. And this was before all the tools came, the Grammarly and the AI that a lot of people are using now. Um, so I was writing books for a lot of people with PhD. I'm saying, oh my God, if these people ever find out that I don't have an education, my goose is cooked. And I was getting a lot of good feedback. It was an experiment, but I did not expect that my clients would be um, so well learned. I wanted to write for people who actually didn't think they have the gift of writing. So I was writing for a lot of people with PhD behind their names as a young man doing freelancing and editing books for people. And I'm saying, God, this was way out of my comfort zone. I mean, when
Wow.
I wrote something and send it off, I would be in heavy anxiety until I get a feedback
Lord,
because I keep
help me,
thinking that
Lord.
the people, yeah, they're going to come back and say, "What is you just did?" And I've never actually received anything like that. So God
You
has
know,
just
you
been
know.
good throughout this whole process.
Well, I don't have to tell you anything because you are an author. I am not even secondary to you in terms of being an author. But the truth is that not everybody really can write, even though they have PhD. Not everybody can write books. 'Cause there is certain requirement. There's certain insight into writing a book. It's more than just well, academics. Putting a structure book with a thought that is readable, and people can relate to. It's different from just I'm an intelligent person. Not every intelligent person can write a book, right?
Well,
And not every
I
and not
didn't
every
know
not
that.
every book needed.
I thought
Well, no, no, no,
I
because
didn't know that.
well, not every intelligent person can write a book because book writing takes a whole lot of processing in the
It does.
mind, all of evaluation and analysis and what do you really want to say? It's more than you know doing papers. Like doing something from text and and I don't know if I'm making sense here, but that's a whole different thing. So some people who writes
Yeah.
and the person who writes the book oftentimes don't even realize what they write until they get it edited, or they go back over it 10 times and said, oh my god, how did I put this here? So yeah, so and the other thing I wanted to say, not everybody who can edit need to be with a PhD, because experience teaches wisdom also, and what fits here doesn't necessarily always need a PhD. But it's good to have a PhD, as long as you didn't buy it. It's good to have a PhD, but that's not everything that matters.
Well, now I know that, but then you can imagine my ignorance then, because then I did not know. I was in my 20s, going into my 30s. So I was ignorant of a lot of things. I took a lot of things for granted. I just figured that anybody with a PhD means that they are fully educated. So why are you hiring me to do anything for you? I should be the one hiring you. So
Well, they're fully educated in their field of disciplines and stuff like that. It might not be conducive to writing books that would fit into the
yeah.
market. So
So I had a lot of those experiences. And I was doing this for people. Of course, this was paying the bills. Um, and also giving me an opportunity to fund my own visions. Because now I was doing a lot more books and upgrading websites, and so it became a whole movement within itself. So I was working, then using that money to establish myself as an author, because I also, as a publisher, I paid to publish my own books as well back then. I don't do that now, but back then I had to fund. So I've spent a lot of money on freelancers and all. Even while I was getting paid as a freelancer, I was spending money on freelancing as well to get certain things done. But for and I guess you did that too. You saw the process with publishing two books, so you could take on the third on your own.
yeah, I did
Um,
that. I actually designed, well, I designed my books as well, design the covers and do all that stuff. So I'm getting into it behind you, man. I'm getting a little creative and innovative as well. So I do my own
so
cover
you
designs
learn.
and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not trying to take the bread
Should
out of
I
your mouth,
answer?
but yeah.
No, man, it's fine. Should I answer Tanisha's question?
How would you look at a material and decide if it's worth it or not to publish whatever the client asks, regardless of what you think about it or not? Well, you go ahead and answer the question. Good question.
Um, the beauty of having an editor. That's the beauty of having an editor. Um, One of my most faithful clients actually live in Florida. She is an evangelist. She cannot write to save her life. But she does a lot of mission work and speaking and topical speaking. But she's into the supernatural miracles, all of that. She travels the world and speaks. So when she's speaking, she will do like 7 lessons on one topic, whether it be hearing the voice of God or the supernatural. What I had to do for her is transcribe all her video files. And when I get the transcription, Doc, if I give you the transcription to read,
Garbage.
you would
You're
not
gonna dump.
understand one thing.
You're gonna dump it.
Yeah.
I say no. You can't. No, this don't make no sense.
But the Lord has given me a gift that I can take that and make it into an edible book, to the point where she has had people come to her and say, I won't call her name, No, I understand what you were saying from reading your book. Because when you said it, I didn't understand what you were saying.
It's just like old time days
So,
when somebody
yeah,
when they only when they, somebody speak in tongue, you need an interpreter.
you need, right. If an editor cannot make your book edible,
Makes
because
sense.
think about it, editor, edible. If an editor cannot make your book edible, then it's not worth publishing. But if you see docs take everyone as a story, everyone needs to tell their story.
Hmm.
All right? Write your story. An editor will make it edible for the global market. And an editor can take anything and make it into something. That's the power of an editor. That's what you miss when you DIU,
Hmm. Do it yourself.
do it yourself. You connect with the right editor and he can make your thoughts make sense. And then you have a book that can be published. And it is based on this, because there's a lot of foolishness going on being published today by a lot of people who are doing it yourself.
Yeah,
I
I
never
see. I see.
published
I see.
something.
I see some
Yeah,
bookman people send me all a copy of book and say, "Oh dear God."
yeah.
I mean, that doesn't mean
I
mine is all that good, but
no, yours are good already. Um, but you need an editor. An editor will make it palatable. Regardless of your writing skill or writing level. That's the beauty of an editor. Um, yeah. So I've never published. I don't publish crap. The 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 the, the most for me, because I publishing for other publishing companies, locally and abroad. The most for me is similarities. And this devotion just sounds like this other devotional. But you are going to find something in each that is personal to the author who writes it. That even though it sounds similar, because I've done hundreds of books. I don't know if I've gone into the thousands yet, hundreds of books. I read for the past 10 years, I've read more than 500 manuscripts. I am going to see a lot of similarities. But we don't release rubbish. We don't put crap out there. When we finish editing a book and we release it, you can you can get something from it.
wow. Friends, I'm talking to Cleveland Orville McLeish, and he helps publish two of my books. Now I'm on the three, and next year I think now that he's convincing me that I need an editor, I'm gonna have to send him the next one that I'm writing, uh, caught in the middle. That one is coming next year, so look out for that. That's gonna be a big one. All right, so if you have a book in you, Sister T, and you want to publish, you think you have something you want to put, jot it down, lay it down. Everybody has a story, and hey, this man, I'm telling you, this is a good man at a good cost, cost effective. You can get your book published cost effective through this man. My personal recommendation.
Thanks, Doc.
All right, she got a unique book in mind. Here's a potential client. Look what she named, right? She named Beckford. Okay.
Beckford.
Okay. So we are tying it in a circle here. You got Orville, she got Beckford. So I'm wrapped up right in here in the package right now. All right. Okay. So if somebody wants to, well, we kind of actually cover that in the conversation. Um, somebody wants to write a book but don't know first steps, how to approach it. What's your suggestion to that person who have an idea, a feeling of something? What your idea in first steps in jotting down something?
Well, I do consultations, by the way. So if you don't know where to start, then we can have a conversation. Um, but one of the things I encourage people to do is to journal their thoughts. And this is something you can do the last thing you do before you go to bed. It's actually a very good practice, especially now when mental issues running so rampant. But journal your thoughts. It's a good practice to write and to learn how to express yourself in writing. But then if you are seriously considering a the first thing you want to do is to just sit down, and I think this is a faith-based program. So you sit down um with the Lord, and you work it through and create somewhat of an outline. These are the things that I would want to talk about in my book. Or if it's a specific idea, you write what the idea is, um, and then you begin to flesh it out from there. Um, and then once you have somewhat of a base, then you start to fill in the meat, start to put meat on the bones. Um, the problem I notice with new writers is that you will write a chapter and keep going back to the chapter and fixing it, fixing it, fixing it, fixing it, fixing it. So you never move from that. But what you want to do is actually just write. All right. That's why you have an editor to fix the writing when you finish. Just write as the thoughts come to you. Right. If I'm driving, I will have a thought. I have notepad on my phone, so I'll stop and I write down the thoughts and they flow. Doing menial tasks, washing the plates, thoughts come to you, right? So the idea is just to write, just practice writing, all right? But sit with your idea as well and write down any thoughts that come to you regarding that idea. And then try to organize it into, okay, this could be chapter one, this could be chapter two, this could be chapter three. That is the skeleton. And then you start to fill in. You might get information for chapter one, and the next time inspiration hit you is in chapter five. So you just open the document and you put it in. So you don't wait until you get to chapter five to do it. So
Hmm.
it comes differently for different people. But I think I'm a firm believer that everybody have the capacity to write because there's power in God made us writing and reading beings. Right? If you're not writing and reading, you're missing out. So everybody needs to be reading, everybody needs to be writing. That's my personal belief. Um, but the organizing, it comes with a little bit of effort and time.
All right. So I hope that helps you, Sister T. And we have been so closely connected now that you have me on the sideline. Right? You have me on the sideline to help to inspire you, and then we can eventually return you over to Mr. Cleveland, and he can take you from there. All right. Okay. All right. So um so now you have, are you in the process of expanding? I know that you have coming up next week, you have this new creation press literary launch. Give us an insight in what that's about.
Uh, I with my business, um, I try not to get stuck. So I'm always asking God what is next. I've been editing and publishing books now, and I thought that I'm thinking that's it. Um, so I'm saying, God, what is next? I've been evolving all these years. So am I going to get stuck? Just providing publishing services to people. So I've been asking this question now for about 2 years. 2 years. Um, my book publishing has slowed, so I'm not putting out as much books as I used to. Um, but this year I got one book, and that book is a new creation code that I unpack, and the subtitle is Reclaiming the Mystical Heart of Christianity. And in that book, I look at what I believe Christianity should look like. The
All
church
right.
of the future. So after writing that book and having it ready to publish, that's when, after 2 years or more, of me asking what's next. I heard it's time to do a book launch. I've never done a book launch. All these years of writing, I've never done a book launch. But of course, it's going to be more than a book launch. So I am getting the revelation in pieces now. So what do you mean more than a book launch? Um, my mentor should be the guest speaker. So I reach out to my mentor who lives in Los Angeles. Not sure if he's available. So that's why I wanted to do this at the end of October and ended up with a date in December. If I had chosen a date in October, it would not have happened because of Melissa.
Wow.
So the pieces start to fall into place. So I'm doing a book launch, but it's not just one book. I have two other books also to launch with it. And I'm a multi-author. So I'm not really doing a book launch for one book. I needed a term for it. So that's how I got no literary launch.
Mm.
I needed a term. So I got the literary launch and I wanted some of my authors to be present. So it's author exhibition. So it's a literary launch and author exhibition. And the theme of it is new creation because I'm looking at the scripture in Revelation. Behold, I make all things new, and I'm looking at the one in Corinthians. If anyone is in Christ, is a new creation. And I'm thinking that this now ties into the theme that I've been carrying for so many years, made in God's image, because I wanted to know what that means. What does it mean to be made in God's image and likeness? But no, I'm exploring what does it mean to be a new creation. Because if any man is in Christ, he's a new creation. So starting next week, Saturday, I'm beginning to explore this theme of a new creation. And the Lord upgraded my business. So now I'm doing what I always do, a self-publishing partner, which is what you're used to. But I'm also upgrading to a hybrid publishing,
Mm.
which is a little bit higher. But I'm also going to include now a traditional arm. And this is where now, if your book is good enough and fits into a specific category, you don't have to pay anything for me to publish that book.
Really?
So you're going to get a traditional contract or agreement with that book. Right, I have the contracts and all of that. So I have three levels of publishing now. Now for the traditional arm, I needed an imprint because I can't use HCP book publishing. So that's how I got New Creation Press. So next week, Saturday, at December 6th at 3 p.m., we will have New Creation Press, literary launch, and author exhibition.
Big thing coming up. Big thing coming up. Unfortunately for me, it's gonna be in Jamaica, and I'm in Florida right now, so I'm not gonna make it down there. I was on his list as one of his authors, but somehow I drop off the precipice on the edge. um I don't know if I'll fall back into the category of authors so I can get free publication. I don't know if I can meet the criteria, but if you want to publish a book, this is a good guy. He's a good guy. Will help you with that. um Maybe we can split some difference. I could help you with your cover design. I could help you with that. Then they can pass it on to the guy with the editing ability and the publishing skills to make your life easy. All right. What should we expect now going forward from Mr. Cleveland? The man is just not stopping.
Well, so I'm saying I like a microphone. I should
You
start
know,
a podcast next year.
you like
I,
my
I I
microphone, yeah.
I like your
This is a good. This is
microphone.
a this is a good one. This is a really good one.
Yeah, I should start a podcast next year, just unpacking this whole theme of new creation.
All right,
Um,
all right.
and then upgrading the website so all the submission details for a manuscript will be there. You will get to choose which level of publishing you want to engage with, and mm, that's pretty much my plans going forward.
Well, I respect and appreciate you, man, and I'll be the first when you're ready to launch your podcast. You can come on and let's say, all right, let's have this conversation. When you get you a nice microphone, and we say, okay, it's podcast launch now, whatever you're gonna call that. Oh my goodness, my friends, I've been talking to Cleveland Orville McLeish, and you hear the story and you hear most of the story, the dull beginning of the man's life, and now this broad wide open ending. I'm not implying the end is near. I'm just saying it's just like it's expanding. It starts, it's like the pyramid turned upside down, right? The pyramid turned upside down, so
Yeah.
from point going broad up, so that's the sky is the limit for the brother, man. And the good thing is that he's dependable. He knows what he's doing. He's trustworthy. Has proven himself, and extremely affordable. And especially if you're in the U.S., your dollar will go a lot further when he publishes things from when he does your work from Jamaica as well. So I'm not saying it's cheap like dust, but I'm just saying reasonable Christian quality, cost, reasons for you to talk to the brother.
Amen. Talk to the brother.
Reasons to talk to the brother. And if you miss it, I don't know how to find him. You can always link up with me. If you miss it, you can link up with me because I'll find him for you. I promise you. I promise you, I'll find him for you. Well, if you don't have anything last to tell me, my friend, I wish you the best next week. I wish I was there as one of the authors to, and see what was going on with you and get a personal touch of what was happening. But hey, I got my chance tonight before the time comes. So I'm
Yeah.
the pre-launch guy. So I get my chance to chat with you and to know what's happening. What's your last word?
Well, for next week, I should be streaming live on my YouTube channel. So
I don't
go
even know
on
if I
over
run
to
into your
YouTube.
YouTube channel.
Well, I
What's
have not been promoting it much, but it's Cleveland O McLeish.
Cleveland Over Cleach?
Yes, if you type that in, you should find it. Um, and then you will be able to view what is taking place next week,
All
and
right. I'm
it's
looking
going to
forward.
be it's going to be good. Yes, I
I'm looking
anticipate it's
forward,
going to
man.
be good.
I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward. And I hope you find some new authors, man. I hope this conversation opens up the doors to let some people know that you can actually write a book. You have a book in you. That's what the
Yes, you
publisher is saying.
yes
You
you
have a book
can.
in you. Everyone has a
But
story.
look,
That's what my program said.
everyone has a story. I was just
Every,
about to say that. And you
everyone
need
has
to
a
tell your
story.
story.
And
Yes,
it can be told in different ways because and the other thing is that if I should have a subtext to that, every story is unique. Doesn't have to be like
that's
the other man's
beautiful.
story to make it a story.
That's beautiful.
I had a bishop on my program a couple of years ago, and then my friend, I invited him on the program. He said, "Oh, Bishop, doc, I don't have no story. Yeah, I've got nothing fascinating to talk about. I think you got to be this thrilling thing." But believe me, once he came on the program, and when he talked, and we went through his life experiences, and especially his salvation experience, and when we probed that, and in retrospect, he said he paused and said, "Oh my God, that's my story."
There you go.
and he impressed himself with his own story, not realizing that was his story, profound
That
story.
was his story. Yes,
Real story, how he came to the Lord dramatically. And he was telling me he didn't have a story. I realized, oh my God, that's my story. So everyone has a story, and you don't know your story until you start telling it. And you
that's
realize,
it.
oh my God. Well, thank you, my friends, for joining. And don't forget to follow me on Facebook and subscribe to my YouTube channel at ORB Ministries everywhere, TikTok, Facebook. We're just kind of taking it everywhere. I'm not as prominent like Mr. McLeish, but I'm trying to get my legs down. I'm retired from full time pastoral work, so now I'm giving my little time to do more of the podcasts and more of the communications. And I'm going to finish my book that I started writing a couple of years. As a matter of fact, I wrote two books after I started writing that one. I got 55,000 words in that book, and I still haven't, and it's still sitting there. So I'm going to have to finish that one 2026, God's willing. I got to publish that one
Wow.
2026. Caught in the Middle. That's the title, Caught in the Middle.
Love it.
Best wishes to you, my friend, on your launch and relaunch and all the ladder steps that you're climbing and all the new friends that come, they're gonna come to you. May God bless you, give you strength, health, long life, and continue to build on your skills that you can help the kingdom, those who have something to say but can't reach to the hierarchy and the
Amen.
publishers who to rip them off and they get nothing from their books. So here is a good, honest man, and you get that from me. God bless you. Hope to see you
Thank you,
again
Doc.
next week on another Let's Talk with it. You go stay there, brother Cleveland, and we're gonna go off like we came on. See you again, my friends, another time. By the way, tomorrow for us in America, it is Thanksgiving tomorrow. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And if I didn't get a chance to say you again and talk to you again, Merry Christmas, because that's what's coming right after that. God bless you all, my friends and family and neighbors in Jamaica who are still recovering from Melissa. We're praying for you, and may God open doors to bless you and help you to climb back to where you were and beyond. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you again on another Let's Talk with the Doc. You have a story, and if you want to tell it here live, I will listen to it and I will air it. And by the way, the publisher said tonight he could take the transcript of your story and make a book out of it as well. So here's a double opportunity. All right. All right. God bless you. I see you again another time. Well, thank you for checking in on ORB Ministries. I trust that you will share with your friends, subscribe, hit the bell for notification, and stay tuned because you never know what's next or who will join the conversation.